So I'd like to welcome you here tonight to your intuitive oil community. For the people who are not present with us in person but tuning into the Facebook group, you'll notice we're not on the beach. So Mother Nature is sometimes in charge. And as we think about our essential oil education tonight and what we're offering to you as we honor the elements, and as we honor summer, and as we honor this time of reflection and quiet, on my way here, having arrived home at 5 o'clock from the city today, watching the storm clouds as I drove up, wondering what that would mean for us, I was reminded very poignantly as your teacher who so desperately wants to control a perfect experience, that some of the lessons of presence when it comes to Mother Nature and when it comes to quieting the mind are the lessons of letting go and surrendering and accepting what is. And when we come into the present and we need to accept what is, lots of those things are not things that we want to accept. And that's the interesting challenge in meditation teaching, is that thoughts come into the mind that perhaps we don't want to accept. And so certainly as I drove, I realized that fundamental human need and desire for control, trying to control our environment, our circumstances, our day, and how it's going to unfold. And Dino and I, as we had to do yoga first, kept pushing the envelope of the time of when we would make the decision. And Nancy was also driving home today from Bancroft. And so we're driving, we're texting, how long can we wait? Do you see a storm? Who could we text that's closer to the beach that might be able to help us decide? And just not being able to come to the place of surrendering. Just not being able to come to that place. Fighting it. At one point, the township called to ask Dino and I, what are you going to do? Can you make a decision by 4? Because we want to make phone calls for you and we leave at 4:30. So we struggled with that. No, we'll make the calls. That's too early. We put it off till 5. I'm driving. I see the clouds rolling in. Dino says, no, we're going to decide at 6. And so I was having my meditation teaching, my meditation lesson through that preparatory time. And that is the struggle, when the mind calms down and we realize how little control we really have every day in our life, in our circumstances, and yet how much we try to resist that. So as you come here, new to meditation or not, the first thing I always like to tell people who are new to a practice so that we can let go of the myth, because I believe we think meditation is hard, is that your goal is to work on stilling your mind. Lots of us think the goal is to empty the mind. I don't want your mind to be empty. I work in the world of brain injury, and so I'm aware of the deficit when a brain doesn't do what we want it to do. So in fact, I want your brain to do all the incredible, wonderful things that it can do. I don't want your brain to ever be empty, and it isn't even empty when you're sleeping. So the goal of meditation is to still the mind. And then last week we talked about detaching. So as we still, we just find a focus. And we don't always like the focus. And so our next piece is detaching, observing, not judging ourselves, trying to be the witness of that experience. So I had that experience for 2 hours on my way home from the city today. And for those of you who witnessed the beach last week, you had your 20 minutes of witnessing how to, here's my mind thinking about distractions in the background. How can I just be okay with that? How can I just be okay with that? So tonight we are inside and we are trying to play some nature's music with birds chirping so that you'll feel like you're outside. And the flies have arrived, so we do feel like we're outside. Mm-hmm. So we invite those distractions. I say to you in your meditation, invite the distraction. And then just be present with that and see where it takes you. See where it takes you in your detached place of observer. So Mother Nature and summer tonight gives us insight, gives us the remnants of a thunderstorm, and gives us flies. So here we are. We talked last week about ritual in your practice, and the reason we love using the oils with respect to meditation is that heightening your senses and using your senses to be still is a beautiful way to practice stilling that mind. So noticing, what do I see, hear, taste, smell, touch? And of our five senses, smell is actually the strongest. Lots of people don't realize that. So if we can create through our oils a reaction in our body with that aroma that brings us into presence, it helps to drop us more quickly into that space. And I've shared with you at different points in times teachings from my guru, but one of the things that happened there that she didn't teach me but just happened is over time in my yoga meditation practice, I learned the smell of the incense that she burned dropped me. So after a while, I didn't need yoga to get in the zone. I would hit her house, open the door, get that waft of incense, and I would be, I've arrived. And so I can take myself into meditation very quickly by putting that incense on, because there's now a trained response in my brain. That's what you can do with your oils. If you can find the thing that will drop you, that will bring you into the present. So for ritual, Nancy and I chose balance as your starting place. We started with it last week. We want to start with it again. It is fundamentally a tree oil. There's several trees in it. Trees are roots. They help you ground. They help you center. So as Nancy brings that around, before you do today, because I don't want to mix up balance with ginger in our hands, will you demonstrate your little foot trick?
Certainly.
Because we like to bring balance to the feet to really give the message of grounding. And so you have your little foot trick.
I do.
Yeah.
There are some oils that I want to be using right on my feet, particularly at the beginning of my day for grounding, and the end of my day, oils like vetiver and serenity when I'm supporting my sleep and calming my mind. So when I do that, I sit in a spot, usually down on the floor beside my bed, so that I can touch my feet. I'll drop a drop of the oil, not down into the flesh of the foot, but just onto the arch. It's a bit thick. There we go. This one's a bit blue. And then I just rub my feet together. And I'm balancing, like right now I'm balancing on this foot and rubbing with that foot. And then I'll shift over and the same thing, just connecting the soles of my feet. It has become ritual for me because I like that phrase, I'm enough, I'm all here, I'm present. It comes to me when I'm touching my feet together.
And I know last week we were kind of trying to do an oil in this hand and an oil in this hand, and your natural desire is to want to rub them together and smell them. So if you're willing to give that a try, Nancy's going to take the balance around and go ahead and give them that opportunity while I talk about what we're going to do with the other one.
Absolutely.
You want to do that
When you do that, you do still get when you're sitting in this position, you do still get some beautiful aromatics, and you can always waft this way if you want more.
So imagine we're outside and those trees are coming to you because Nancy is now delivering them. And as you have the opportunity to just remind yourself of the word balance and what that means in your life and in your practice. And part of the reason we wanted to do meditation in the summer, because it is a busy, full, fiery, energetic time, and there does need to be the balance of quiet time. And so that opportunity on a Monday evening to just remind ourselves of this part of our life, the quiet time. It's a perfect time of day when the sun's starting to go down and we can settle into that breeze and the light in the sky. And just really, as you allow that smell to come over you, to just remind yourself of balance. And thank yourself for being here, for taking the time to create some balance in your life and in your day and in your summer. With respect to the elements, last week we brought in easy air or breathe, focusing the beginning of our meditation practice for 4 weeks on the breath, because that's a great place to start. But we were also focusing on the air and the easterly direction. So today we're moving our attention to the south, which is the summer season. And the element associated with summer is fire, because that is the essence of summer. We have long days, we have light in the sky, and we are meant, as we live and flow with seasons, to have this time in the summer that is about your fire, your energy, your creativity, your passion, your desire. And so in our own ways, we all find some kind of energy that amps up our life force in the summer. Maybe it's because you like those long days. Maybe it's because you're inviting people up. We live in this beautiful place. I certainly find all my friends want to come north and visit in the summertime. And so there's this natural inclination to be more outside, to be more social, to be more engaged in life in general, whatever that is. So it is this amped up time of life, and we want to honor that. We want to honor that. The South is also about, as we follow the seasons of life, about youth and adolescence. And so hence also, as we think about the flow of life, passion and energy around that. So as Nancy and I thought about what oils to bring for South, we are naturally drawn to spices because it spices things up, right? Yes. It spices things up. But for this week, we chose ginger. And we chose ginger because it is the oil of empowerment and because it is meant to take people's energy to that place of activation. So even in your own life, if you think about the seasons and live life harmoniously with that, the spring is meant to be a time when you plant seeds. The summer is a time when hopefully that garden is growing. So if you have planted seeds for your own self, you're invested right now in some kind of project. Your essential oils from that spice place will help it grow, will help it to have life, will help the blooms to really come into full fruition. So we're spicing things up. So with the oil of empowerment, with ginger, and with all of our spices, because part of our education is always to be safe about our oils. They are sensitive on the skin, and so we do need to dilute them a little bit in order for us to not have too much of a burning or a tingling sensation. So tonight I took the ginger and put it in a little bit of fractionated coconut oil, and as Nancy brings that around for you tonight to start activating fire energy, we have a little dropper, and we're going to bring that to your hands, and you can rub it together. Close your eyes and begin to take those inhaling breaths of the spice of life. And then if you want to, because it's your power center and your activation and you're comfortable, you can bring it up here and put it right here, which is your solar plexus, or into your back. Remember in chakras, we have chakra, it goes out front, it goes out back. We forget about our back, but we do have energy back here. We forget about that. So you can bring it back here, but it's the midpoint. This is your power center. So if you want to take those inhaling breaths, bring that spice forward and then apply it into this place of activation so that you can really say to yourself, yes, I am the creator of my own life. I am activating my life force. I am bringing my power into full expression. And so Nancy will bring that around for you. And for a centering thought tonight in your meditation, last week we kind of had this idea of moving the breath, focusing on the breath, letting the wind wash away our thoughts. Tonight, because we're fire in the belly and we're activating the life force of summer, if you're distracted by your thoughts and you don't like where you're going, then use that mantra, I am the creator of my own life. So whenever you find your thoughts drifting off to a place that for whatever reason is a distraction you don't want, you say, oh, off it goes, and come back to the practice of mantra. I am the creator of my own life. Okay? Thank you, madam. I love ginger. Ginger essential oil is really good in a morning smoothie, by the way, if you're a ginger person. Really good in a cup of tea in the winter. And what I also just want to share about your oils, Nancy's going to bring you to standing in a moment. Sometimes I think we can get over involved in worries about safety, and so then we worry about blending. Okay, she just gave me 2 oils. Is that going to be okay? She wants me to be grounded, and now she wants me to spice it up. Mm-hmm. And just don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to be intuitive with what you need at a certain point in time, and to appreciate that smell can help you set intention. And that's what we're trying to teach through the meditation as we honor directions. So balance, yes, I'm balanced, I'm present, I'm centered, but my focus tonight is creativity, being the creator of myself, embracing the energy of summer. And I can use 2 different oils to bring both of those things together. So please don't be afraid to use your essential oils. And always reach out to us if you have questions or you're not sure about that. Okay? So you probably want us to come to standing.
Thank you so much for that. And when we come to standing, we will turn towards the back corner, towards the east to begin. When we come to the east, our east is our beginning. Our east is our spring. Our east is our breath of life. In this space, set yourself for a beginning. Set your feet about hip width apart so that you feel balanced. Bending your knees so that you can move a little. Feeling your knees fluid and strong. Feeling your hips stable and in that space. Your rib cage with the beautiful lungs filled, and your spine standing you up tall to your shoulders. Letting your shoulders drop back. Holding behind your heart. When you lift your head ever so slightly, see that string that reaches right up into the sky, connects with all that is and all that is available to us, and feel that just pull you ever so much, just a little taller. And feel your connection with the greatest good. And in this space, the direction of the east, where we begin, the space of air, the space of the ignition, breathe in and take in what is available to you. Breathe in, big, big breath. Hold it there. In gratitude for what you've been given, and release what you don't need. We'll take 2 more breaths in this space, breathing in all that is offered to you, holding in gratitude, and letting go of what does not serve you in this time. One more time, breathing in. Great gratitude. Hold what serves you and release what does not. As you continue to breathe, continue to feel that string drawing you up and feeling your strength and your balance. Open your eyes. We are going to turn to the next corner. We're going to travel to the south. And the south is our next step in the journey, our next season. As we grow, we take that ignition, and in the south, we start to heat things up. The south is our summer, that glorious time for trying all those things and engaging and connecting with what is available to us. When you find your balance here, and you're feeling that string drawing you up, making space for that air to come in when you breathe, feel the heat. The heat is excitement. The heat is that connection when the energy comes into you and finds your groove, finds your spot that serves you best. The south is that space of adolescence, of all of our ideas. So many thoughts and so many ways to try something. Try something new, try it. Does it work? Maybe not. Try it again. And that constant ignition of going for it and really stepping forward into your space, into your creation. We will come back to this space. Now get nice and hot. a deep breath in. Open your eyes as we turn to the west. When we're in the west, we're coming into that place of gratitude for all that we've experienced, all that has traveled through us. When we're receiving, we're breathing in, a beautiful breath in. Know that we started in that spring and we are activated in that summer, and now in that fall space, that autumn. Gathering in all that we have attracted to us, all that has served us well. This is the space of gratitude. This is the space of the earth. Feel your connection with what is here, what holds you, what provides for you. The water that came to us today, the water that brings us inside today, the water that feeds our plants, feeds our bodies, washes us of that we don't need anymore, that which served us at one point and we can release. In the West, this is that space of our adulthood in life, in our journey. That space where we have taken inventory, where we have tried the path to find where we make our greatest contributions and our greatest connections. This is where we walk our path. And when we take gratitude with us, we see all that is available to serve us. Take a beautiful breath in. Think of that gratitude. On this next breath in, lift your eyes, and we'll turn to the north. In the space of the north, we're coming to that reflection point. In the space of the north, this is our winter, our time for drawing in, for slowing down, for taking inventory and choosing what was it that served us best, that we want to keep with us. This is our space of wisdom. This is our space of connecting with the earth at a stage or a step in our journey. Our winter space is our quiet space where we can come back to ourselves, listen to what our wisdom, our internal wisdom tells us, and helps us to move forward with the greatest of our gifts. Find your feet on the ground. Feel the strength of your legs, the centering of your hips, and the opening of your rib cage to let that beautiful breath come in. Roll your shoulders in this space and let them settle into a quiet space on your back. Feel that beautiful string connected to the bottom of your spine all the way up to the top of your head and reaching into the ethers, that space that surrounds each and every one of us, every moment of each of our experiences. That is our connection to all that is. Feel your presence within it. Quiet, and in this moment of winter, this direction in the north, your very presence is exactly what we need. Exactly what the earth is asking for, and what all that is benefits from having your very peace exactly the way you are right now. This beautiful winter space, take a deep and quiet breath in just for you. And release it. We're going to come back to our sitting space now, and I invite you to sit to your pillow, find a space of balance, and a space of comfort. As we sit down into our meditation, one of our practices is to get ourselves into a space where our mind lets our body be. And so sitting is comfortable for you, with your legs close, with your legs extended. Leaning back or leaning forward is the way your strength serves you best. Find that space where you can let your body be. We'll come into that mind space. We're in our focus on the direction of the south. That empowerment that your ginger oil is bringing to your center. That acknowledgement that you are a creative being. That you have an inherent creativity to you. And we're going to tune into that today. As you take your breaths in and release your breaths, I'm going to travel through the 4 dimensions of who you are. And examine and watch for those little nudges, those little joys to celebrate of all that you are and that which is being created of you. This is our time for inspiration. It's a time for celebrating your capacity. In that quiet space, let all of that come to you with gratitude and with celebration. And no judgment. Each and every person on our existence has been created on purpose and for a purpose. And what you create is of service to all. In our meditative space, I'm going to take a moment to simply observe your thoughts. In this quiet space, see your thoughts. And let them drift beyond you. We're in a sacred space where you don't need to hold on to them at all. We're holding this space together. And what you need to know, you will know. What comes to you now, you can let pass through you. would you bring your thoughts, your observations to your physical body? It's the first radian in the 4 dimensions of who we are, our physical presence. And our body is our visible presence, the space inhabited by our spirit, the body that we live with and work with, play with and create with each and every day. In this space of the south, consider, what does your body create? What sounds does your body create? You know it best. You are the expert of your body. Creaks and bends, and what sounds does your body create? What motions does your body create? What movements? What signals to connect to others flow through you, through your limbs, through your posture, through the movements in your face, the tilt of your head? What does your body create? And what joys do you have in all that your body is capable of? Our next rating is the mind. Your mind has the potential, has the capacity for greatness that only you know. What thoughts, what riddles, what solutions, what concoctions and recipes and stories, what does your mind create? How does your mind use your memories to activate joy, to activate growth, and to connect out with others? You know the greatness of your mind. The third dimension of our being is our heart center. That emotional experience that we have within ourselves. How do emotions reside within us? The reactions that we have to things that we encounter in our environment. beautiful emotions does your heart create for you? From within you. In reaction to things that you encounter. When you're in an internal space like this, it's been created by someone else. What peace, what appreciation, what joy, what inspiration do you take? When you walk into an outdoor space, what vibrancy do you feel in your emotions, in your heart? You feel that tremendous growth of a tree, the energy of a bird or a squirrel. Peaceful constancy of the waves lapping on the shore. Your heart is a creative center. That nurtures all of those, nurtures all of those emotions. So it's creative potential. And our air is starting to move around, just in time for our soul space. So our fourth dimension is our greatest radiant. It's the largest circumference. It surrounds us, our front to our back, from under us to above us. We are creative in our soul space. Our purpose lives within us and is expressed out when we reach out to the rest of the world. Each of us has that purpose that is unique and beautifully special to each and every one of us. In your soul space, what are those celebrations? What have you created in your purpose that's exhilarating, that brings heat and excitement? What is that moment when you're stepping forward in your soul space, in your purposeful path, and you know you've done that. You've created to your greatest potential. You've created something that you didn't even know you had the potential for. And that exhilaration comes. That's all you. That's you at your soul space, at your point of creativity. Reaching out. Soul space, that wraps around your heart space, that holds your mind and your body in coordination, and are all fueled from that creative center. Creative center where the fire of you burns, fuels you, it warms you, it lights your path. As we enter into our quiet time, bring your mind's eye to that center, to that flame that burns within you. Look at its color. Hear its crackle. Feel its heat. That's your flame. That's eternal. I'm going to let you sit. I'm going to have a quiet time where you can concentrate on that fire within you. Know that it is there. Appreciate it for all it brings to you. Let all other thoughts pass you by. Feel the warmth of connecting with others. In your heart space, feel the warmth of joy. In your mind space, come into connection with your thoughts and where they've taken you on this journey. And with our final bell, come back into your body. For breath, for cooling, for coming back to join us. Thank you for your meditation time. Thank you for your presence. As you come back to engage with us in our group, connect all your dimensions together to walk back on the earth.